Good morning. Regarding yesterday's class, many of you gave the feedback that it was the letters were not clearly visible, and also this it would take a longer time. Delay was higher, right? So I thought we'll go back to our PPTs. Though board teaching is more effective than PPTs, you just have to, anyway, we are trying to do step by step all the things here with PPTs also. So I think we have to manage, but the visibility is better, and the speed also is higher, right? So just today the class will be for hardly 45 to 50 minutes, or even 50 minutes, let's see. So just to brief up on what we discussed yesterday, this is the circuit of a inverting, summing, scaling and averaging circuit. So we can call this as an inverting, summing, scaling and averaging circuit, or an averaging amplifier. And we derived the expression for the output of this circuit using KCL at this node V2. And when we did that, we got the output expression V0 as minus Rf by Ra, this is Ra, into this voltage Va. So this is, if I take the minus sign outside the brackets, all the terms within brackets will be with positive signs. So plus Rf by Rb into Vb plus Rf by Rc into Vc. The whole thing is completely negated because it is an inverting circuit. And also remember, we calculated the overall resistance which is there for offset minimization. ROM is called the offset minimization resistance. So to minimize the output offset or error voltage, we'll be connecting the same Thevenin's resistance as seen between pin 2 and ground. So between pin 2 and ground, we will see parallel combination of Ra, Rb, Rc and Rf. So we are going to connect that resistance between pin 3 and ground also to minimize the offset or error voltage. RL, the load resistance may or may not be used. It's not compulsory. This is just optional. Anyway, this was the expression for output which we derived yesterday, and the derivation steps are as shown. Okay, so the same steps we did using KCL at node IA plus IB plus IC. The sum of currents is IB plus IF, but IB, the current going into the op amp, is 0. Therefore, it will be equal to just IF. And for each of the nodes, we substituted the difference in voltage across the resistor. So for RA, this end is at VA, this end is at V2. So VA minus V2 by RA is the value of current IA. For RB, VB minus V2 by RB is IB. And for IC, VC minus V2 by RC is IC. So we substituted those values, and in the end we also put V2 as 0 because the inverting terminal, sorry, the non-inverting terminal is at ground potential or 0 voltage. So due to the principle of virtual ground, V2 will also be at 0, and we also wrote the expression that IF is V2 minus V0, where everywhere we put V2 as 0, so we will get this final expression. I hope you remember all that from yesterday's class. Okay, then the basic form of this expression tells us this circuit works like a scaling amplifier or a scaling circuit, where if I consider the ratio of Rf by Ra as A, some scaling factor or some number, Rf by Rb as B, another number, and Rf by Rc as C, then you can say V0 is minus AVA plus BVB plus CVC, three different numbers. So the three input voltages are multiplied or scaled to three different numbers. It's a simple scaling circuit. And if we wanted to work like a summing amplifier, then I have to equate RA, RB, RC. So RA, RB, RC, all the three are equated to a single resistance R, and you will see V naught is minus RF by R into VA plus VB plus VC. So the sum of all three input voltages multiplied by a gain, hence it is a summing amplifier. And next is as an adder. If you want it, okay, if we want it to work like an adder, then I have to equate RF also to R. So if I make this gain deciding resistor RF same as R, then you will get this ratio as 1. So minus 1 into VA plus VB plus VC. Inverting summing circuit or an inverting adder. Last is as a anyway, scaling or weighted amplifier I showed you. So the basic form of the circuit is scaling or weighted amplifier. The name weighted because each input voltage is weighted or multiplied with a different value. Scaled, weighted, all mean the same. Averaging amplifier, you equate the base resistors RA, RB, RC to R, but the feedback resistor, you take it as R by N. So if you choose RF as R by N, what would you get the output voltage as? Sum of all three input voltages divided by 3. So if you have two input voltages, it will be divided by 2. VA plus VB by 2, but all with a minus sign. Inverting means minus sign is always there, and it is indicative of a phase shift of 180 degrees. Anyway, now with this basics, let us take some examples. So here you can just make a note. Design a linear combinational circuit using op-amp, combination circuit, not combinational, using op-amp to obtain output of minus 2 volts and V1 8 volts, V2 and V3 with Rin greater than or equal to 20 kilo ohms at all the inputs, and all the resistances less than or equal to 200 kilo ohms. So the resistors used in series with voltages, we need how many input voltages are there? We have 3 input voltages, V1, V2, V3. So 3 input voltages have to be considered, and you should get an output voltage of minus 2 volts. I think something is missing here in this problem. I'll just check. And all the input resistors should be greater than or equal to 20K, but less than or equal to 200K. Please remember this, keep it in mind. Okay. So we know that the simple way the circuit can be designed is as an op-amp inverting amplifier. So we'll consider this circuit. This is the inverting amplifier circuit. V1, V2, V3, 3 input signals. There should be a feedback resistance RF, and the output voltage is measured here. This plus VCC and minus V pin 7 and pin 4, you can choose as plus 15 and minus 15 or plus 12 and minus 12. According to what you choose these values, the output voltage will be limited. Okay. So please understand the output voltage will get limited by the supply DC voltages which you are going to choose. Now we have drawn this circuit. So we know in this circuit the output voltage is given by the equation. Output is minus of RF by R1. Instead of RA, RB, RC, I have R1, R2, R3 and V1, V2, V3 instead of VA, VB, VC, which we have analyzed just now. So the expression for output voltage will be minus of Rf by R1 into V1 plus Rf by R2 into V2 plus Rf by R3 into V3. Now, yeah, I was telling there is some mistake here. You are supposed to find V0. In this case, you should find V0 given, okay, this expression for V0 is given. Okay, fine. So here, what they have given is this V0 is equal to, this is the expression for V0. So the output should be minus 2 times V1 minus 8 times V2 minus V3. Looking at this expression for output, you should choose an appropriate circuit and design the values of the resistors. Okay, is this clear now? I was thinking there is some missing data, but no, this is the expression for V0 which is given. You should get a V0 which is defined with this equation, and you should design the values. You should choose an appropriate circuit first. We said we can use an inverting summing circuit, and we have drawn the circuit also. And now we should design for the values of all the 4 resistors. Okay, so and remember the condition, the input side resistors should be more than 20k but less than 200k. Choose it in that range, because you will be choosing one of the resistors. So from the given equation, V0 is minus 2V1 minus 8V2 minus V3. I can compare this with this. If I compare these two equations, you can easily see Rf by R1 will be 2 and Rf by R2 will be 8 and Rf by R3 will be 1. Correct? So all the 3 resistor ratios are defined. It's a scaling circuit, scaling amplifier. So 3 different scaling factors are used, 2, 8 and 1. And this minus sign, we have it outside the bracket. So minus sign is applicable to all the ratios. Anyway, once you know the value of these ratios, you can start off by choosing some values. So it's easier for us if we assume the common resistance first. Remember, in all the 3 ratios, which is the common resistance? It is Rf. So always assume that common resistor, and then you will get 3 different values for R1, R2 and R3. So you assume Rf as 200 kilo ohms. So according to this ratio, Rf by R1 is 2. So 200k by R1 is 2, or what is the value of R1? R1 will be 200k by 2, which is 100 kilo ohms. Rf by R2 is 8, which means R2 is Rf by 8. 200k by 8, which is 25 kilo ohms. And Rf by R3 is 1. So Rf and R3 are equal and both will be 200 kilo ohms. So since they have given the maximum limit for all the resistors to be 200k, we'll assume that highest value for the common resistance Rf first, and then we will compute the values of R1, R2 and R3. Okay, is this clear? It's a simple problem. Such problems can be asked for 4 to 5 marks in your exam. Okay, any doubts? Okay, then let's proceed with the next problem. So in this problem, you are supposed to find the output voltage for the following circuit. Find the output voltage of the circuit shown below. So according to this circuit, it's a simple inverting summing circuit again, and it's a summing amplifier, because can you notice R1, R2, R3, all these 3 resistors are equal and Rf is a common resistance. So in this case, which expression would you use? You would use the expression minus Rf into, or minus RF by R. You can take out R as a common factor because R1, R2, R3 are common, 4K. So here I can simply write minus in the next stage here, minus RF by R into what? V1 plus V2 plus V3. That's all. So V1, V2, V3 values are given. They are all are given as negative values. V1 is minus 4. Okay. V2 is minus 2 and V3 is a positive value plus 3. So what's the value of output voltage now? V0 will be minus of 6K by 4K. I've taken out this resistor R as common into minus 4 minus 2 plus 3. So the value within the brackets turns out to be minus 3, right? This is minus 6 plus 3. So minus 3 will be here. So if you have minus 3 into minus 6, so outside I have minus 6, it will become 18 plus 18. Minus 3 into minus 6 is plus 18 divided by 4. So 18 by 4 is 4.5 volts. So the output voltage in this case is 4.5 volts. And remember, if you should see an output voltage of 4.5 volts, the power supplies you should show should be surely greater than that value. Remember, I told you the output voltage limit yesterday. So if you give a power supply of plus 12 and minus 12 volts, you can see a positive output voltage till around plus 11.5 or nearing 12 volts, approximately plus 12 you can see, or plus 11.5 if I consider the saturation level, and a negative voltage of minus 11.5 volts. So since this 4.5 is within that range, you can surely measure. Okay. So yesterday when we considered one problem, you saw it would go out of range. So we had to reduce the input, right? So this is another example with an inverting amplifier. Next, let me move on to non-inverting summing circuit or a non-inverting amplifier. So as you can see, yesterday we were discussing how do we make the output positive. One option is to give all the inputs to the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. So you can see here, this is the non-inverting or positive terminal and this is the inverting terminal. We have connected all the three resistors RA, RB, RC to the non-inverting terminal, giving the voltages VA, VB, VC. Okay. So here they have used a common resistor R. He has equated RA to RB to RC and he has used a common value of resistance R. Okay. And here we have also shown what would be the input impedance of this amplifier. Anyway, we are not interested in that for now. So this is the basic circuit of a non-inverting summer or summing circuit. So as usual, what do we do for analysis? We consider one input active at a time and we will make use of superposition theorem in the end. So if I consider VA is acting at the present time, VB and VC will be considered as 0 and we have to analyze what will be the voltage at this point V1. Okay. So let's consider step by step. That's what I have done now. I have considered first VA as active and VB and VC are both grounded. So VB, VC are both grounded, only VA is active. So what would be the effective circuit or what would be the equivalent circuit? Here I have R in parallel with R. You can see from V1 to ground. This is V1. So from V1 to ground, I have, because VB and VC are both 0, R in parallel with R, which turns out to be half of it, right? Two equal resistors in parallel means half of it. And I told you here, instead of considering RA, RB, RC, for simplicity, in your textbook, he has just considered all these three resistors as equal, R. It becomes simple for our analysis. So this resistance will be R by 2, and VA is active now. So VA is given through the resistance R. So now my job is to find what is the value of V1 here. What is the effective voltage V1 due to VA? What would V1 be? You use the principle of voltage divider. V1 is the voltage drop from the non-inverting terminal to ground. So this is V1, right? The voltage drop across this resistance. What would it be? It is VA into R by 2 divided by sum of resistors R plus R by 2. So we are using a potential divider. It is simply VA into R by 2 by, what do you want me to explain? Tejaswini? Please unmute and speak. Tell me what is your doubt.
First problem, I'm assuming the impedances.
The previous problem, the resistance.
Yeah. RF, R1, R3. You
How to
said
get,
assume. Yeah.
Okay. So if you have any doubts, better unmute and ask. It would be easy. Okay. I may not notice the chat immediately. I'll just go back
Okay.
once. This one, this problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in this problem, what is given to you is this equation. So they have asked you to get an output voltage which is minus 2 times the first input signal V1, minus 8 times the second input signal V2, and minus 1 time the third input signal V3. And he has also specified that the resistors to be used at inputs and also all the resistors. He says the resistors at the input and all the resistors should be less than or equal to 200K but more than 20K. Okay. He has specified that condition. So all the resistors which you use in the circuit, these three and this should be more than 20K but less than 200K. So remember, that is required in this problem. So now we said, in order to get an output like this, looking at this equation itself, you can say this resembles a simple inverting summing amplifier, right? It's a simple inverting summing amplifier or a summing circuit. You write down that circuit. Remember, in the exam, don't forget to write the circuit. Circuit also carries marks. So write the circuit first with 3 input signals, 3 resistors and 1 feedback resistor connected to the inverting terminal as shown. And we had already derived the expression for this output voltage in this circuit. So what is the output voltage in an inverting summer? It is minus of RF by R1 into V1, this signal. I told you instead of RA, RB, RC, which we have derived, we are using R1, R2, R3. The names of the resistors are different. That's all. The expression remains the same. So output is minus RF by R1 into V1 plus RF by R2 into V2 plus RF by R3 into V3. Okay. Now this equation you compare with the required equation. I told you just compare these two equations. What do you see? So in this, if I take this minus sign inside, what do I get? This will be minus RF by R1 into V1 minus RF by R2 into V2 minus RF by R3 into V3. Aren't they exactly similar? So these two equations are exactly similar to each other. So what should I do? I will equate the ratios. The resistance ratios will be equated to the corresponding scaling numbers given in this equation. So RF by R1 will be equated to 2. Then RF by R2 is the second ratio, that should be equated to 8. And finally RF by R3 is the third ratio. I have a 1 here. So I'll equate it to 1. So once you make this equality, now choosing resistors becomes important. How do I start choosing the resistors? If you notice all these three scaling factors or the three resistor ratios, there is one common resistor in all the three, that is RF. So in any circuit like this, always choose the common resistor first. So how do I choose the common resistor? Remember, this is a resistor which decides the gain of the circuit. So it should be as high as possible. So we'll choose RF to be the highest possible value allowed. He says you should choose resistors less than or equal to 200K. More than 20K but less than or equal to 200K. Since RF decides the gain, I'll assume RF to be the highest possible value. So let me choose RF as 200K. The highest possible value in this circuit is 200K. Now, if this is 200K, then you know RF by R1 is 2. If you substitute this RF as what? 200K. It is assumed, right? So RF is 200K. So what is R1 now? R1 is 200K divided by 2. So 200K divided by 2, how much will you get? It becomes 100K. Okay. Next, in the same way you find R2. So
Got
RF by, yeah, RF by R2, you got it, is 8. So if RF by R2 is 8, 200K by R2 is 8. So what is the value of R2? 200 by 8. So 200 by 8, it becomes 25K. Last is RF by R3. RF by R3 in the last case is 1. So this value is 1. So what is the value of R3? It is same as RF. So R3 becomes same as RF, which is 200K. That's the last value. Okay. So this is how we analyze and design the circuit. Okay. Now we'll move on. The next problem is okay. No doubt, no?
No, ma'am.
Fine. So we'll move on then to the non-inverting summing circuit. In the non-inverting summing circuit, as I was telling you, the three resistors with three input voltages are connected to the non-inverting terminal. So when they are connected to non-inverting terminal and we have taken all the three values to be equal. Here instead of considering R1, R2, R3 or RA, RB, RC, all the three values are taken as R. Now to analyze such circuits where there are multiple inputs, it is easy to use superposition theorem. Consider only, I was telling you, just consider one input to be acting at a time and the other two inputs are grounded. So this VB, VC are grounded, only VA is active. And when you do that, what happens? This will be the equivalent circuit. So from V1 to ground, we have R in parallel with R. So these two resistors, R comes in parallel with R, this one and this one, and that becomes R by 2. Okay. So the parallel combination of these two R's. It's as good as writing. So this is one R, and from the same point it is another R. So what happens to R in parallel with R? From V1 to ground, and I have this resistor intact where we are giving the input signal VA. So this will be the equivalent circuit. This is ground. So this combination can be replaced with a single resistor R by 2, because if two equal resistors are in parallel, the equivalent value will be R by 2, and we have VA connected through this R. So now, what would be the expression at this point? At the non-inverting terminal, I have considered the voltage as V1. What would be the value of this voltage, V1? It will be using voltage divider rule, VA into R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2. Correct? So I told you V1 is the voltage from non-inverting terminal to ground. To find this, it's nothing but the drop across this resistor whose value is R by 2. And we have one voltage source VA here. So VA into R by 2 by R plus R by 2, you'll get that as V1. On the same lines, if you consider VB to be active in the next case, so what happens in the next case? I'll consider VB is the active one. Okay, so VB is active, whereas VA is grounded and VC is also grounded. So what would be the equivalent circuit again? The equivalent circuit would reduce to the same value again. Yes or no? So you will have from V1 to ground one resistor R, from V1 to ground another resistor R here. So in place of VA and VC, we have taken ground potential. So there are again two resistors from V1 to ground R in parallel with R. What would be the effective value? It would be R by 2. So the parallel combination of these two resistors will result in R by 2, and this resistor I have to which VB is connected and is active. So what would be the output voltage at this point now? In the sense the voltage at V1 at the non-inverting terminal. So V1 now will become what? VB into R by 2. Correct? Voltage divider rule again. The same rule what we use there. Divided by the sum of two resistors R plus R by 2. Therefore, the value of this voltage when VB is active will become VB into R by 2 by R plus R by 2. Now on the same lines, can you tell me what would be the value when VC is active? So in the next case, I'll consider what? It should be VA and VB are grounded, whereas VC is acting. So in this case, what would be the value again? This V1 will become VC into R by 2, correct? Divided by R plus R by 2. So this would be the value of the voltage at this point when each of the individual voltages are acting. Either VA is acting or VB is acting or VC. One by one we have considered. One active and the other two are grounded. And we will find the voltage at the non-inverting terminal V1. Is this clear? Okay. So you have just found the voltage at the non-inverting terminal, but we should still determine what is V0, the output voltage. So how do I find what is V0? Now if I know V1, what would be the equivalent circuit? So the equivalent circuit would be something like this, right? You have a voltage at the non-inverting terminal, which is V1, and the inverting terminal has one resistance R1 connected to ground and another resistance, what? RF connected here. But I should find the value of this V1 correctly when all the three voltages are acting together. We took one is acting, the other two are grounded. So when all three are acting, what happens? We use the superposition theorem, which tells the value of V1 will be what? In each case, whatever you got, VA into R by 2 by R plus R by 2. Yes or no? Plus, add all the three, plus VB into R by 2 into R plus VC, everything. You have this ratio everywhere. So, when you get V1 value, you can consider this circuit and evaluate. So, I think I'll show you that in the next equation here. Okay, if it logs out, please log in back for 10 minutes so that we'll finish and stop. So as I told you, considering superposition theorem, what does superposition theorem says? You analyze the voltage considering only one input active at a time and the others grounded. But in the end, you add up all the equivalent values. So for the first case, when VA was active, I got this value. R by 2 into VA by R plus R by 2. Next, when VB was active, you got this value. All of you can submit your, so many people are joining in now to submit their attendance. Okay, next class, I'll tell a different time. All of you can send in to the chat before this closes. It's another 2 minutes left. All just send your section and attendance. Yes, Soumya? Soumya, you have something?
No, ma'am, by mistake I sent it. Sorry.
Okay. So here, this is the effective voltage at the non-inverting terminal, which turns out to be V1, which is sum of all the three input voltages as shown. Now, if I simplify this, take a common denominator, R plus R by 2 becomes what? 3R by 2. 3R, R by 2 divided by 3R by 2, what would you get? So, this becomes R by 2 divided by 3R by 2 in each case. So, if I cancel R by 2 from the numerator and denominator, this is into VA plus same equation for VB. So, if you cancel this R by 2 in numerator and denominator, what is left is VA by 3 from this first equation. From the second part, VB by 3, and from the third part, VC by 3. So combining all the three, the effective value is VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. Okay. So this would be the equivalent voltage. And now use the equation. We'll just get the expression for output. Remember now, if you know the input signal, what? I know I need not worry about all this. I know the value of V1. So you have a V1 voltage given to the non-inverting terminal, and you have resistors RF and R1 connected to inverting terminal as shown. It behaves like a simple non-inverting amplifier. What is the output voltage in a non-inverting amplifier? In a non-inverting amplifier, output voltage V0 is given as 1 plus RF by R1 into the voltage at the non-inverting terminal V1. So I'm just using that equation. We know that in a non-inverting